Okay, so at this point, we're creating all this scenery with different lights. One thing I want to do, and I recommend you, it is enable relighting. So it is right here, options. And when we enable relighting, let's click OK. This will provide us some option in a post-processing when we can go and modify those lighting sets. And as more you have of them, it's sometimes very hard to tweak around with lighting and see, do I want more lights here or not? Maybe even adjust a little bit of the colors. With a relighting, we can go back and do this very fast. Okay, so example right here, we're done. And you notice right when we open options afterwards, now we have it all of this lighting. Look on this. We have it quarters to light. It will helpful if I'm gone and rename them before so I know what we mean. But even without this, we can go modify and you can see on a preview, it's become lighter or darker. I can enable full interactive. And in this case, if I modify it, it will preview on my main. But some machines may not work as well. So in this case, I can say, you know what, I want a little bit more bluish even color for this. You see how it's changed now. And I can make even a little bit darker so it does not take too much attention, but we can see it's here. Same things, we can go to modify, like this is a red light. And you can see, can turn all the way down or go adjust a little bit more or less. And we can modify more adjustments of the lights. So for example, let's just pop up a little bit higher this one. So we have our backlighting. I think about this color will be right. And again, you can a little bit more with the relighting tweak around this one. Okay, one thing what I noticed right here, look on this, we have those white lights. They're very strong, but relatively they don't produce enough lights for us. We have a couple options we can do. We can dim them a little bit down, and we also can apply additional lights just in same places so they can produce for our lights. Because they're part of the material, this is made sometimes a little bit harder to do this. So let's go back to our hangar, and we're going to drop down and we'll select our LEDs. So if I'm right, it is should be about not these ones. Okay, floor LED. We have another floor LED. We can go over and just till we select those LEDs that was on the side, and that was quite a bit strong. Okay, so I'm going through all of them. Okay, just click through till we find, and again, because it's important model, sometimes naming is not will be correct. Right here we have it, our LED, so it's 4. If we look on effect, it's a 300, so I want to take down to 100 and maybe bring them a little bit lower. Okay, this is one way we can actually reduce, and you can see we still see them, but they're not as strong. The other things what we can do, we can create another light, take this light and just put it up front. Okay, let me put it to the 0 so it does not hide, but we can put it just up front of these lights. So like for example, we go right here with below steps, bring down. Okay, right there, and we can put some around this area by the lights. Okay, actually, you know what, let's enable, maybe put it 2 to this point so I can see where the lighting will go. Okay, and we can like run right there, just see, we'll put it just like slightly up front of our LED. We'll go to fake it. Okay. Again, this will produce some lights fall out. And again, we can enable a little bit drop down, and let's go to set a little bit of color. Okay, and we can bring a little bit off. So problem is with this, if we render this moment, you will see the dot. So if you want to do this way, you don't want to do volumetric, but you want highlight around. And because it's very close up, we want to do small lights. But this way, when we place it, will create almost like a casting lights around here. Same things, we can do duplicate it and bring another one closer to this light. And sometimes you need to go and create multiple different of them all over places, because this way you will have it a real kind of like almost casting light. In some cases, when I was working with like candle lights, I create those teeny tiny lights and put it on each candle. It took some time, but it was creating very realistic kind of casting light. Again, this is another option for you, so you can add to those areas. You could also add just a flare, a lens flare or other effect afterwards inside the Photoshop if you do post-processing. But if you don't, if you want straight out of view, this way to adding some of these elements may work better for you to create, to place them. And you can see right here as an example, when I place them now, okay, so you can see now they kind of give it this highlights, like this is almost sliding. But again, I don't want to do this way. This is example, so I'll just delete them because they work just fine, except instead this, I'm just taking and reduce some luminosity on those LEDs. So they will have it here, but they won't be as strong. And the kind of white is fine, but I want to change color. To change color, I need actually blend with a color for this. So, and I'm going to modify, same, I'm going to take a little bit more bluish cyan for this color. Okay, and I will go blend in. So this way it's allowed me to produce, you can see more this kind of blend of color. So maybe a little bit wider, but it does overlay and provide a nice coloring. Okay, we're almost done, I think, with this one. It's let's put something on a background, and for this I'm just going to create a planet. It will be moon maybe right now. Okay, let's go select our planet. I want to increase in size, okay, because we have a kind of lights go from this side. We'll move a little bit closer, so right here kind of can see. And let's increase brightness and a little bit softness. So softness will give it over the edge, but it also will give it as brightness. And how say, because we have this element, it could be maybe act as a sun or other effect, and it will be work very well in this case for us with highlight from. Okay, so we can some smooth adjustment. Let's look on the atmosphere editor, and right here you'll notice our moon is kind of very yellowish. If you like, it's good, but also you can just go inside the atmosphere editor and remove all of these properties, so we can just also just take all of these effects down. That way we'll have it a little bit more clear, and you can see now we have it much brighter, our moon. So this way we can control brightness a little bit more from here, from adjustments. Again, this is from the atmosphere because we still applied, and always if you want to apply atmospheric, you can go back and just add all of this effect, even haze, which is make quite a bit dusty there. So again, this is up to your vision as an artist, what you try to achieve. But right now I think with this phase, let's go a little bit, actually a bit more this way, more like a moon cross type phase. I think this works very well. We have a nice coloring going overall. Again, adjustments maybe on the lights if you want to add, but I think they work very well. I know right here one light's on top. We can look somewhere around these lights right here was kind of poking out, so I may want to add just lights kind of, you know, bring point around that area, because those was too bright lights. And if we add maybe about 5 around this area, maybe a little bit more, it will create some nice effect. So we'll just, again, red color, so let's add a little bit more to this point. So we'll put one right here. Okay, and let's take another one, duplicate it, and we'll put one around this area. Add blue. So it should cast a little bit blue, and if we don't see this blue, we can always go pop up a little bit higher to the 10. So let's add a little bit those distance like element look. Okay, now what, maybe it's too strong, 6, and let's put 3 on this. So just a little bit lighting, not too much, but just something like right there. Okay, I think we're good. So what I'm going to do, increase a little bit size. We have it on a final resolution. Sometimes you probably want to increase, depend how it's going, and maybe you want to increase overall quality. But again, if we increase quality, it will take a little bit slow. But I think for purpose of tutorial, this worked just well. So these settings work good, and I'm going to render. Right now, I'm going to pause this tutorial and come back when the render is completed. Okay, so right here is our final render. And again, if you need it, you can modify by using, if you enable your relighting options, so we can modify all these lightings how we want it, add colors. But overall in this tutorials, we'll cover how to import models, set the lighting, set the cover, how to adjust properly objects, also working with materials and putting lights in proper place so we can increase. Of course, you can always go ahead and modify it, apply as you like it, and hopefully this will inspire you to create interesting kind of inside the buildings or other ones renders, and be sure you share with them at Cornucopia 3D.